Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Bags Shifts to Streamline. Um, it's something that I started earlier in the summer, and it's something I just want to continue to do. What are those shifts that you can make in your business so that you can streamline your operations, so that you can increase your profits, so that you can get things done with less time, and so that you can make your dreams your reality? So tonight we're here on our weekly episode of Shifts to Streamline, and we're going to be talking about why you need automation. Someone reached out to me in my LinkedIn messages last week, and we had a very good conversation, but they started with the question of, why do I need automation? Like, you understand the basics of systemization, but why do you actually need automation? And so I thought, what better way, as a result of some things that I was learning myself over the weekend. I actually was sitting in a training session over the weekend, learning some things with some very fabulous women. Because I'm always trying to grow and improve. But I was meeting some other women and gleaning from them. And so as I sat in, taking a few moments of quiet, I actually started writing this out. And I thought this would be perfect for this week, to discuss the conversation that I had, but then also to demonstrate how, looking at the 5 stages of the buying process, because whether you have a service, whether you're a coach, whether you're a consultant, whether you work with corporations, whether you work with governments, agencies, whether you work with whether you're a nonprofit, whether you serve nonprofits, um, no matter what it is that you do, there is a buying process. So I wanted to use this example to just kind of explain why you need automation. Let's just make it plain. I'm all about making things plain. So, why do you need processes and systems in your business? So one of the reasons that you need them is, of course, to make things, to move people from um, leads, people who are just interested in what you do, to actual clients. But then you also need them during the process that you have clients, and what I like to call the client experience. And then you need them when you're moving people through that entire pipeline, from them finding out and expressing an interest in you all the way to you having completed the service or provide the transformation or solution that you have. So, I typically work with people who have service-based businesses, who are coaches, consultants, who are looking to offer things to corporations. But this message tonight, again, like I said, it applies to all businesses, even if you have a product-based business. So I hope that you get something out of it. If you are ready and you catch the replay, or you're live here now, just type ready in the comments and we're going to jump right in. So, excuse me. I just got off of another training, so hold on one second. All right, so there's 5 stages to the buying process, and I'm going to tell you those 5, and then we're going to walk through each one, and we're going to talk about how automation assists you in those. So the first is problem recognition. Okay. The second is information gathering. The third is evaluating solutions. The fourth is when people actually make the purchase. And the fifth is post purchase. Okay. So we're going to get started right away with problem recognition. Sometimes people don't know they have a problem, or in my case, I'm going to keep it real, don't want to admit you have a problem, don't want to acknowledge you have a problem. And they may not be clear on what their problem is, but 9 times out of 10, people know when they're having a symptom. For example, um, especially if it's something that you feel like society has a negative connotation. You may feel like, people say, are you depressed? No, you're not depressed. But are you unclear in your thinking? Are you throwing yourself into your work? Are you not able to get things done? See, those are all symptoms. You can ask those questions and people will say yes or no, whereas they won't always know. They won't always want to accept and admit that they have a problem. And in some cases, people don't even know that it's a problem. So, but we always, almost always, know, see, or feel our symptoms. So it's very important that you can acknowledge, identify, acknowledge, and speak to what symptoms your clients may be feeling. You can't even break into that pipeline of converting people from someone who's interested to being a client without acknowledging or accepting that they have a problem. Okay. But you have to figure out how to do it in such a way that you can get them to see it. Okay. So you want to plan and create your visibility around the symptoms, or as we like to call them, the pain points, versus the versus the solution, and then that's how you will attract more people. People have to be able to you have to tap into emotion. People buy based upon emotion. It's just a fact of life. You can have 5 people in the room doing the same thing, and an individual is going to work with that person, buy from that person that they can identify with, that they can create a relationship with, that they have something in common with. Okay. So you want to make sure that you are speaking to that symptom that they feel. And that right there, automate by putting emails in place, having emails, having conversations, making social media posts, those types of things that speak to the symptoms and get their attention. That is really, 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 really important. Okay. So then you move into information gathering. See, once people accept they have a problem or they're aware of their symptoms, then one of two things or both things will happen. One, they're going to seek confirmation that they have a problem. What is this problem that we have? We're going to seek to figure it out. And two, they're going to gather information and begin looking for solutions. Okay, so you need to have emails in place. You need to have posts that reach out to people that introduce your solution. Okay, so first, people have to have a problem. And now you're going to introduce that there is a solution, that you have a solution. This is where you're going to create an association between that problem and you as the solution that they need. It's not well enough to just have people know that there is a solution. You need to be able to show them how you provide that solution. You provide that transformation. You have that product that they need. Okay. So you have to have an online presence. Okay. Just because Google's not just a company. It's a verb. Okay. People have to be able to Google you. People, do you not realize? I want you to pay attention. I did this over the last 3 days. I looked at how many times I Google things, how many times I ask a question in my search bar on my phone to get an answer. You need to make sure that when people type in the question and you're the answer, you show up. You need to make sure that you have a presence. You want to make sure that you have blogs. Okay. And you don't want to have to sit down every time and write a blog. You want to have them in place so that you can pull them. You want to have the process in place so that when you create those blogs, you automatically know what's going to happen and it goes right into. You don't want to have to sit down and recreate the wheel every time. That's where you need the processes in place so that every week, every month, every 2 weeks, every day, however often you blog, no judgment, that those are showing up. You need to have the processes in place for that. Okay. Emails. If you're sending out emails, sending out text, you need to have the processes in place so that those things can happen. You need to be clear on your branding and your messaging. I'm gonna say that one more time because I said it for you, now I'm gonna say it for me. You have to be clear on your branding and your messaging to make sure that what people type in that search bar is what's going to bring you up. Don't get caught up in industry lingo and using the proper terminology for things. Make sure that you use layman's terms. Make sure you use common phrases. Make sure you use language that people are going to understand and be able to use in order to find you. Okay. I like to call it industry talk versus plain language. Okay. There's a time and a place. We get excited about how we do what we do. Other people, the people who need you, they just want to know what's in it for me. What benefits do you provide and how can they get them? Okay. So make sure that you are indeed making yourself available and present in such a way that people can find you. And remember, sometimes simple is better. Okay. You want to have a consistent presence in whatever that you do, whether it's blogs, whether it's newsletters, whether it's social media, whether it's emails, whether it's text messages, however you're communicating. Make sure that you are consistent in what you do. Don't be here one day and gone the next. Make sure that you are following through. I tell people all the time, you don't have to constantly be on social media, but you need to be on social media consistently. If you are a person and you're going to be on there 3 times a week, make sure Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then make sure next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The following week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure that you stay consistent because these algorithms, they're going to change. We have no control over that. But what we do have control over is what we do in human nature. If people know that I'm going to be here every Tuesday at 7:30, they're going to show up every Tuesday at 7:30. Okay. So make sure that people know where you're going to be, when you're going to be, so that they can, even if it's subconsciously, be looking for you or expect to see you. All right. Also know referrals, word of mouth go a very, very, very long way. Okay. We were talking about this in our session. We were talking about Netflix series and what makes you watch them. And sometimes there's that series that you start and you just it wasn't for you. It wasn't working. But then people are talking about it and that word of mouth and people are talking about what's going on. How many of us were late to the bus for Bridgerton, for Power? I showed up to Bridgerton like it was over. People were talking about it because that just didn't look like something I wanted to watch. But once I sat down and paid attention, I was immediately engulfed. Okay. Power, it was like season 2 or 3 before I, binged watched it. So just, that word of mouth referral, that goes a long way. So know that as more people get to know about you and they talk about you, that's going to make you show up more. And that's going to make people know that you are the solution that they need, that you are what they need. Okay. All right. So we've talked about the problem. We've people realizing they have a problem. We've talked about problem recognition. We've talked about setting the stage for information gathering. So then the third one is evaluating the solutions. Basically, it's time to make sure, do you rise to the top of the cream? Are you going to be set aside away from the competition? Are you in the top 3? What makes people, are you what people think of when they have that problem? Sometimes people don't have system needs today. But simple things like my tagline, I help you take the hassle out your hustle so you can make more money and have more free time. Just knowing in circles, people talking, then when people do need someone, I come top of mind. That's what you want people to do with your business. Even if they don't need you right now, even if they don't need what you provide, you want to make sure that you stay top of mind. Again, that's why you want to make sure that you are consistent in what you're doing. You want to make sure that you're staying out there, you're building a relationship, you're interacting. I may not need a plumber today, but I want to make sure when I do need a plumber, I now know one. I had to have one come today. And it was just like, okay, now I have that information. And every time I need a plumber, I'm going to call him because he came today. He did a great job. So you want to make sure that people associate your name with the problem, with the symptoms that they're having. Okay, you want to make sure that you make the final cut list, because what happens is people window shop and then they come back and they kind of look at all of the choices that they have. And believe it or not, human nature is that you start rating things. And so you want to make sure that you're rated among at the top. Okay. So by the way that you do that is you have to make sure that there's clarity around what you do. You have clarity around what you do, who you do it for, and how you do it. Again, that's that branding and messaging, because then you can clearly speak to your ideal client. They hear you, they respond to you. Okay. And you have to share in a way that people will receive. Again, I was talking last night about understanding your audience. Part of that is knowing where your audience is at. If you are a photographer and you take really great pictures, by all means, you should be on Instagram. That is a platform for pictures. Okay. You may not want to be on TikTok because that's for videos. So you may not want to be on LinkedIn because that's a little more academic. That's a little more wordsmith, if you will. But you definitely want to be somewhere where you can showcase what you do. You want to make sure when you send out emails that you're including your work in the emails. Your white space is going to often have pictures in it. See, these are just examples of how you want to make sure that you're showing up so that you rise to the top. Okay. Again, you want to make sure that you're sharing in a way that people will receive. Again, I cannot say it enough. Industry lingo versus plain language. People just want to know what's in it for me. What have you done for me lately? Not how you do it, not why you get excited. If I were to go on and on and on about the system and the system, I was with a friend, a biz bestie this weekend, and she was like, I have to make sure I don't tune out. Not because she's not interested, but because her level of understanding and the inborn interest in it, that's not her cup of tea. Especially when you have two or three people in the conversation and we all get excited about what we do and we're talking about it. And she's kind of sitting there like, okay. But there's tidbits that she doesn't want to miss. There are parts of the conversation that she could contribute to. But if she tunes out because we're so focused on what we're high on, then she's not able to be a part of the conversation. The same is true for your ideal clients. Make sure that you're not speaking above what they need to know. Okay? Because they are, in essence, trying to figure out who they're going to buy from, who they're going to work with. Okay? Having what people need is not enough. You have to be able to communicate it in a way that attracts or captures them, captures their attention, and creates a desire that they want to know more. Okay. There's so many aspects that go into what we like to call copy, or the language that you see, the words that you see in emails, on sales pages. The good news is there's people for that. You don't have to know how to do that. As long as you know what it is you want to say, there are people out there that can help you with that. I'll be the first to admit, I get excited. I am a visionary. But when it comes to the day-to-day follow through and pulling the messages together, I don't like to feel like I'm repeating myself. So I say something once and then I want to move on. But I do hire someone who can take that message and repurpose it, who can repeat it in such a way that I can use it over and over again. And so I don't feel burnt out or uncomfortable, because it just goes against who I am to repeat myself. I don't feel uncomfortable, but that person is able to take what I've said and I'm able to use it over and over. And again, that also lets you show up as the same person all the time. Okay. And what you say, for how you say it to one person, and then if you could switch it up, it might touch, someone else. So just know that If that is something that you have an issue with, just drop a comment that says copy in the comments, or send me a message that says copy. And I have a whole list of resources of people who can help you with that. That's not a problem. Okay. You also want to make sure, in the scheme of things, as far as making it easy for people to evaluate, you want that social proof. You want those testimonials. You want them receipts that you know that you do what you're doing, and that you have done it for someone. It's proven. It's been tested. Okay. So you want to make sure that you have those reviews. You can get those in so many different ways. You can have them written and get the person's picture. It's always good to have their picture or their name, because anybody could sit up and just type up some positive things and put it out there. But when you can, it can be traced to a person, a real person. That means the world. It's that credibility. Okay. And so you can have, again, it can be written with a picture. You can have an audio with a picture. You can have video. You can have written or audio without the picture. You just need to be able to collect it, organize it, and use it. Okay. But please, 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 please don't overdo it. It becomes like a thou doth protest too much situation. I've been seeing sales pages lately where the sales page information is just about this long, and then you have testimonials that go and go and go and go and go. If that's your thing, just create one page that's all testimonials and keep adding to it. And then you can send people to that page. But don't inundate people with it, because you could actually have the opposite reaction, and people could start to wonder that if you're too good to be true. Or they could just get tired and forget that they were supposed to take an action, because now they're caught up in the stories and the reading. Okay. So that's just me being me. So don't overdo it. And then you want to make sure that, again, this is where referrals come in. You can do collaborations with people. You can create affiliate relationships. There's so many different ways that you can show yourself to be an expert or an authority in your area. So make sure you're doing that, because that's what's going to make you rise. That's what's going to bring you to the top when people are getting ready to evaluate those people who are there that can offer solutions. Also, be proactive. You know that there's certain objections that people are always going to have. People are always going to say, I don't have enough money. And people are always going to say, I don't have enough time. Make sure that you speak to those objections. Tell them how they can overcome them. Tell them how you're going to help them overcome them. Again, what's in it for me? I'm going to help you overcome this thing that's in your way, so that you can get the solution or transformation that you need. Okay? Remember, the goal is, as I like to say in relationships, I want to be number one and the only one. Make sure that when they have that problem, they feel that symptom, they feel that pain, that you're who or what comes to mind. Okay? Make sure you have you're a one-stop solution, and that you're able, for all the facets of that problem, able to answer it. Okay? All right, so then now we're at the point where they're ready to buy. This is stage 4, the purchase. Okay, so time to buy, purchase. All right, so you want this to be a seamless, hassle-free process. Seamless, hassle-free. You want it to be able to happen with ease. If you believe that, just type the word ease in the comments. Okay. You want it to happen with ease. Don't be like me. I'm going to tell my truth, okay? Y'all know I'm going to tell my truth. So don't be that person. I have my buggy. I'm in the line. I have all the stuff in the buggy that I want. But the longer that line is, the less stuff I will have by the time I get to the checkout. I am the reason that they have to hire that person that puts things back. Because the longer I stand there, the more I will tell myself why I don't need specific things that I really don't need, but I do like shopping. Why I don't need those things, and I take them out and sit them to the side. Don't let people have to be so inundated, so overwhelmed that they don't make the purchase. Make it as easy as possible. Call some more people up to run a register. Okay? Create a client's journey um, so that you can earn your pay. All right? They've made the purchase. Don't just forget about them at that point. Make sure that you follow through and give them what it is that you said you were going to give them. How many times have you gone somewhere and you wanted something and it's not what you asked for? Or people promise you something and you get into it and you never get what you ask for? Or you just get this little bitty piece and it's not commensurate to what you paid for it? Don't be that service provider. Don't be that product person. Don't be that person. Don't be that company. Okay? Don't be some of us have read the book Steve Harvey wrote. Don't be that sports fisherman. Well, he's written more than one book, so think like a man. Don't be out there just fishing to catch the fish and then throw them back in. Make sure that you are following through and doing what it is you said you would do. The worst thing in the world that you can do is get customers and not deliver. It will spread like wildfire. All of the results that you've had so far can just disappear. Okay? In the words of in the world of products, think about Amazon and how they have that one click option. How many of us have gotten in trouble because you get on there and you accidentally hit the one click buy instead of to put it in the cart? But that's the mindset you need to have. Make it as easy as possible for people to be able to make the purchase. If you are providing a service, take the payment over the phone. Don't always, you can give them the option, but don't always send somebody off to a sales page. If they're ready to buy, go ahead and take the payment. And then make sure you tell them the next steps and make sure you deliver. Okay? Minimize the number of steps and the hoops that people have to jump over. We got to start having quick express lanes. In the fact that not only are you quick, but you're also thorough and you're doing what you said you were going to do. Okay? There's so many different ways that with automation that you can do that. You can take payments over the phone. You can have where information is pre-filled. You can have like the Amazon one click because you already have their information on file. You can set it up so that they get an invoice every month. You don't have to go in and remind them and stuff. You can issue invoices for your services. I promise you, it will help you with so many things. It actually helps you out in ways that you can't imagine. When people say, well, I don't think that I owe that. Yes, you do, because here goes the records that show you made a payment here, payment here, payment here. Here goes the payments. Because it's all automated. And when you automate it, it automatically keeps a record. Okay? So make sure that you are creating a client experience, a purchasing phase that is awesome. There's no other word for it but to call it awesome. Make sure that you propel people to action. Okay? And don't be afraid of trial and error. Try it. If it doesn't work, guess what? You could try something else. But if you never try it, you don't know what's going to happen. Okay? And then take the time to look at the results that you've had, analyze them, and move forward. All right. So real quick, let's jump into the last one. The last one is post-purchase. Okay. Again, we started talking about this in number 4, but that's the whole delivery. Can you back up what you said you was going to do? Now that the people have bought it from you, are you delivering? Are you giving them exactly what you said you were going to do? Are you talking about it or are you being about it? Too many people are talking and saying the right things and unable to do anything with the follow up. You could tell the people who haven't taken the time to fully develop what they do. You could tell the people who really are copying someone else because you can't see someone else's client fulfillment. You only see the ads. And so they have all of that, but then they don't have any substance. Make sure you're not that person. Make sure that you have things in place. Make sure that you have processes in place. Make sure you automate things. Make sure that you have systems. Make sure that if you have a team, the people talk to one another. Again, this weekend, we were in multiple locations, and there was one team in location A and another team in location B. And by time we traveled from A to B, someone at A had already sent messages and let someone on team B, part of the team, know what was going on. So they were ready to address those issues that someone was having and able to be there. That's what you need to make sure that you have in place. That's a process. That's why you need systems. That's why you need processes. That's why you need to automate, because it makes your client experience quality. Okay. It's not just enough to get the client. You have to make sure that you follow through and deliver as you said you were going to deliver. You have to be able to back it up. It's better to under promise and over deliver than to sell these big pipe dreams and not be able to give people what you said you're going to give them. So if you have to, be humble up front so you don't have to be embarrassed later on. Okay. Make sure that you are, when you have the right processes in place, when you have the right systems to assist you in doing what you do, when you're able to automate the things that you do over and over, so you're not doing them over and over. You have a way that works that you can do that over and over with ease, so you're more productive. That gives you time as the CEO of your business to work on those tasks that are the highest revenue generating task. You've been here before, you know that I say, as a CEO, you need to focus on your highest revenue generating task. What are the things that you do that you can only do that bring money in the door? Focus on those. Make delivery easy for you, your company, and your team. Make sure you know my biz besties, delegate and automate. Okay? This is why you need systemization. This is why you need automation in your business. Okay? Remember, reviews are not just for the end. It's not just when things are over, when you're done. Get reviews from people during the process. There's nothing like finding out that something's not working in the middle so that you can fix it, so that you can correct it before the experience is over. Sometimes that will make that person want to work with you even more because they realize that you're going to step up, you're going to get things done. Like, oh, that might not have been working, but once she realized it, trust and believe, she fixed it. Okay, so it's great to get it right on the first try, but it's just as great to know that if you don't get it right, you're willing, able, and ready to take the steps to get it right. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, my bad, and then fix it. Okay. Make sure that you use the information that you receive. Don't just have people filling out surveys or giving you feedback and you're not doing anything with it. Or as I like to say about some of the surveys we take on our job, don't word it so that you don't have to take any action. Don't word the questions in such a way that, you're not promising anything. You're just wording the question so that you can say that you asked. Make sure that you're doing something. Make sure that you're always seeking to improve and do better. There's always room for improvement. Okay. And it will also help you if you're not clear, you think you're saying one thing and you find out that people think you're saying something else. That clarity will allow you to get into alignment. All right. It's going to help you to grow your business. It's going to help you to position your business to scale. It's going to help you to increase your revenue, which in turn will help you to increase your profits, which will in turn help you to create the business that you've always wanted so that you can make your dreams your reality. It's going to help you to take the hassle out of your hustle so that you can make more money and have more free time. Okay. So I just wanted to take some time tonight to explain why systemization, automation, delegation, processes, strategy, all of those things, why they're actually needed in your business. They're needed in each step of the buying process. No matter what you're selling, who you sell to, you need all of those things to make your business be the very best business that it can be. You're going to be able to be there in the problem recognition phase, when they're gathering information, when they're evaluating the solutions, when they're actually making the purchase, and then post-purchase during the delivery. So I hope that you got something out of this tonight. Please drop comments. Drop things in the comment and let me know if you enjoyed this. I find that some people prefer to leave a message in the DMs and stuff. There's a lot of people out there who are shy. I was told this weekend not to say I'm an introvert anymore, but there's a lot of extroverted introverts out there. So if leaving it in the messages, sending a message is what makes you feel good, please do so. I look forward to any questions you may have, any conversations that may come from this, and please continue to send me messages and ask questions. That's how this whole topic came up for tonight. Someone asked me, really break it down for me. Why do I need this in my business? Can't my business survive without it? Yeah, you can survive, but don't you want to thrive? Don't you want to grow? Don't you want to scale? And this is why you need to put these things in place in your business. So I really enjoyed our time here tonight. I hope everyone has had a terrific Tuesday. Tomorrow is hump day. Enjoy yourselves, and I will see you again here next Tuesday for another shift to streamline. Have a great night. Bye.